So, MLB The Show just kind of changed everything in Diamond Dynasty with the new Captain Pack. I mean, these cards already are insane. Add in the boost they give, and it is going to maybe break MLB 24. Let's talk about it. We're going to rank all the captains that you guys should be using and also show off what cards actually are going to boost those captains. Because some of these are way better than you probably think. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. But first, a quick word from Underdog Fantasy. Baseball is officially back, and that means Underdog is in full swing. And they've really stepped up their game this year, with more player prompts than ever. It's as simple as it could be. You just pick a higher or lower on a player's prop, such as Ronald Acuna Jr.'s fantasy points, or you could get a bit freaky with the peppers. These are enhanced multipliers. You see Fernando Tatis hitting a home run would net you a 2.75 multiplier, dramatically increasing your payout. This year for baseball, Underdog is launching rescues. If a player in the starting lineup gets taken out of the game before his third plate appearance, you can be eligible for a rescue, which in today's MLB, where seemingly everybody gets hurt, is very helpful. You guys can use my promo code GOMES, and you'll get a $100 deposit match. I've been loving playing Underdog while watching the game so far this season, and you guys make sure to check them out. Thank you to Underdog for sponsoring the channel. Let's talk about Seiya Suzuki and the Asian-born captain. Obviously, card is, well, really good. He's an outstanding hitter. He can play the whole outfield pretty well with 90 arm and 70-plus speed. And you look at his boost here, of course, you need players that were born in Asian countries or represented in Asian national team. Lars Newbar, Tommy Edman. And you see for tier 3, you only need 7 players and you get plus 20 power right, plus 20 contact right, 20 BB9, 15 hit per 9. And again, I think it's important to note you don't have to get the tier 3 boost. I think you want to typically because you can't use multiple captains, right? So if you're going to use one, you might as well get the most out of it. But you look at even tier 2, for example, that's still plus 15 contacted power versus righties. It's pretty damn good. And luckily for us, we have Show Zone. I'll leave the link in the description. Excellent spot to go find who actually is going to get the captain boost and determine if it's worth it or not. So remember the number of cards that you need, and let's just check out like how many good players there are. I don't know why Kenley Jansen's here, since he's born in Curacao, which is not an Asian country, but unless I'm just ignorant. I don't believe it is, considering its geographical location. But you've got Shohei, who's so good in the game. He got a big contact boost, and he's a really good pitcher in the game as well. Otherwise, you look at, like Shota Imanaga, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who I don't think those cards are too good. And of course, they are cards on the market, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to obtain. You've got the Kodai Senga, but I don't think you're going to want to do that. You have that Yu Darvish, which a captain card, that pack is about impossible to earn, and I'm sure most people did not pick Yu Darvish, Yuki Matsui, and then as far as the hitters go, you're kind of left with Ha-Seong Kim, Tommy Edman. You've got, of course, the Seiya Suzuki, who's going to count as one, but Jung-Ho Lee. You notice there's not a ton of great options, at least at the moment. So if you want a tier 3 boosted captain, I don't know if Seiya's your man. But to be honest, if you want to use your captain slot just to boost a couple cards like make Ohtani so good, Seiya Suzuki is definitely a great option. Carlos Santana is, I mean, ridiculously good. He's a switch hitter with low and upper 90s power both ways, 110 clutch, very good contact, excellent swing. He is incredible, and of course, he's going to boost up switch hitters. You know, already one of the best things that you can do for your team, just be stacked full of switch hitters so you always have the handedness advantage at the plate, and then you get 12 contact aside. And pitching, too. Why not? And of course, I think it's really good, and you got to remember, pitchers are your friend here. You've got guys like again, Kenley Jansen, Lance Lynn, Robin Roberts, Adam Ottavino. You've got some of these pitchers that will sub in, and you only need 13 players for Tier 3 boost. I think it's actually a pretty good idea if you aren't loaded on stubs to maybe put in like a Robin Roberts right here. You know, put in 3 to 4 pitchers to fill out your team because no doubt you've got really good cards like the Bobby Witt Jr., who's a righty. You don't want to only have switch hitters if you can't afford the best switch hitters in the game. You know, like Nico Goodrum, you know, Ian Happ, Ellie De La Cruz, Roderick Arias. A lot of the really good switch hitters you do have to pay for. Oswaldo Cabrera, you've got Jimmy Rollins. If you're not there yet or if you didn't pick him, it's kind of tough. So that's what I would do. I would try and get Ottavino, Kenley Jansen, Robin Roberts. That's 3 right there, and they're decent enough pitchers. You do also get 10 BB9, which is going to help out a bit. And then you've got your Carlos Santana, your KB Ruiz, your Josh Bells, Jeimer Candelario. Really good cards that most people probably have already. Excellent, excellent captain boost. I think you just got to use it to your advantage and recognize that it doesn't have to be that expensive. And guys like Jorge Polanco or this Chipper Jones can definitely bang for you as well. But personally, I think this is the best captain card in the game, hitter or pitcher. David Ortiz, he's 114, 110 against righties. One of the best hitters in the game. Versus left, he holds his own, especially because he is maxed out clutch. Oh, we don't have to talk about the defense or the speed. There's a DH spot for a reason. But the captain boost is where it gets insane. 15 contact right, 15 power right, 15 clutch, and 10 contact left. And here you're looking at hitters from 2000 to 2009. For Tier 3, you need 11, which means you can have 2 players that don't fit the captain and you can still get Tier 3. I don't think you're going to have any trouble finding good cards to fit the bill. Because my God, you look at who fits it. You've got Mike Napoli, Joe Mauer, 2 players a lot of people have. You've got Richie Sexson that came out early game. Couple captain cards if you pick Delgado, Adam Dunn, Frank Thomas, they fit. The collection, Rafi Palmeiro, Jim Tomei, this Alfonso Soriano, which I know a lot of people have from the XP reward path as well. Then you keep moving on. You've got, I mean, this is so good because not only is the card great, the boost is great, but also the cards he boosts up, a lot of them you already have and are really, really good. You've got J-Roll, if you picked him in the XP reward path. Rich Aurelia, who I love that card right there. Adrian Beltre, David Wright, the Mike Cameron from Ranked. You've got the Ryan Braun from the Battery L program, if you went ahead and played that. I mean, it's so good. I mean, you're going to have no problem filling out 11 hitters, and you get such a good boost. It's going to make David Ortiz basically Babe Ruth, but a better swing. I mean, this is, in my opinion, the best captain boost, and it's only going to get even better as more cards come out. Let's talk about the pitchers. You've got Mark Pryor, who is going to boost standout series players. Now, the card in general, I actually don't think is very good. He's got 4 pitches, 2 curveballs, a fastball, and a changeup. He's got decent velocity differentials, but that's about it. I mean, the K/9's pretty good. He's got a decent slurve to him, but you're really looking at the boost here. And again, kind of like the Seiya Suzuki captain boost, there's not a lot of cards currently that fit the bill. But if you want to just get up to Tier 1 or Tier 2, those cards that do get the boost are going to get really, really good. And Pryor's one of those that are pitcher/hitters, so you can use either of. And you've got guys like Kenley Jansen, who seems to fit nearly every captain. Justin Verlander, who is free. A lot of people have him. Roy Oswalt, Mike Napoli. I mean, already right there. Most of you guys, or a lot of you, probably have Kenley, JV, and Napoli. So if you wanted to run a captain, right there, that's 10K per 9, 5 hit per 9 for Kenley, Pryor, JV, and then 10 power right for Napoli. But again, you've got Rafi Palmeiro, you've got the new Canerco, and Ken Griffey Sr. These cards are in mini seasons. The new one If you guys were not aware, the Jim Tomei as well. Alex Gordon, he came out for free. Billy Williams, he's in the XP reward path. I don't think this is great. I think this is probably the worst pitcher captain out of the pack that you could go with. But again, if you did want to boost a select few players, you could do that. Trevor Hoffman. His captain boost last year was one of the most popular. It was the relief pitcher captain. And this year, this one should be pretty good, but it's a bit limited. 45 saves captain. There's not that many guys that got there. But again, you're looking at one of the best relievers out of the box in the game. Trevor Hoffman always plays really well. He's got like maxed out pitch clutch, hit per 9, the K per 9 at 111 as well. And the boost, tier 1, 4 pitchers that fit his boost, you're going to get a little bit. And then up to tier 3, 15 hit 9, 10 BB 9, 15 K per 9. And again, the tough thing is there's not that many good pitchers that you're going to get the boost from. There's Smoltz, he was free, but he was also pretty shitty. Edwin Diaz, his cards don't typically turn out that well. Kenley Jansen, I don't love this card in general. I know he's fit every single captain boost, but Dennis Eckersley, Eric Gagne, those are 2 pretty good cards. But again, you're noticing there's not too many options. And, Diaz, he's expensive. Trevor Hoffman, you have to pay for in and of itself. Eric Gagne was in BR. Craig Kimbrell, he's for the Atlanta Braves collection. I don't think this one counts. I don't think this Edwin Diaz got 45 saves. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. So again, it will be good once they come out with better cards like a good Mariano Rivera, a better Bruce Sutter. Some of those kind of cards, they get better. But for right now, the Clayton Kershaw captain really kind of perplexes me. I've seen some people really hype it up, which I don't necessarily get. In and of itself, Kersh, he's good at the game. I don't love his K per 9. We'll talk more about that later. But if you look at his captain boost, it's left-handed hitters and pitchers, which to my knowledge, they have to be a left-handed pitcher or a left-handed hitter. You can't work around and have a right-handed batter that throws lefty and get the boost. So if you think about this, for tier 3, basically your entire team would have to be comprised of lefties, which if you've played this game before, you're going to be fucked over if you're only pitching lefties and you're only hitting lefties because, your opponent pitches lefties, so you can't hit. And he hits with righties, and you're going to get pummeled. So maybe tier 1 could be interesting. Now, Showzone actually has a couple righty pitchers listed here. I guess I'll take their word for it. You guys can confirm for me in the comment section below, but they've got like Rob Dibble, who's a right-handed pitcher but hits lefty. Jicket DeGrom, much the same right there. As far as hitters go, first of all, oh my Lord. Oh God, it's a workout. Catchers, obviously there's no catchers that throw lefty, right? That's just not a thing, and much the same for infielders. So I don't think that there's a workaround here. I scrolled through, I didn't see really any right-handers that fit the bill. So you kind of get the picture of who's going to get the captain boost. It's going to be, basically lefties. I just don't love it. And then I do want to talk about the Cornerstone cards as well, because it's been about a month. Let's do a little update of who you should be using here. And again, for you to remember, you can exchange your Cornerstone captain. You just have to make sure, like I currently have Byron Buxton, they have to be out of every single lineup. That's mini seasons, events, your regular lineup, everything. They have to be out, and then you can exchange them at your own will. So let's talk about it. Byron Buxton, you probably see most people using him out of the Cornerstone captain still to this point. I don't currently use him at the moment. It is a really good captain boost. You get 15 power per side, 10 speed, 10 fielding at tier 3. But again, that tier 3 is using up 11 out of 13 possible hitters with under 60 vision. I'm at Hall of Fame difficulty right now in ranked seasons, so vision, which if you did not know, vision reflects essentially how often you're going to make contact and timing windows. You know, I call it the bailout stat. If you're a bit off your PCI from the baseball, high vision is going to help you foul ticket. You know, that's going to keep you alive. And much the same timing windows, the higher your vision, the more leniency you'll have, the more time you'll have to put up a good time swing, if that makes sense. And Buxton, when you have to use players with low vision, it gets tough. The best thing about this boost is your whole outfield a lot of times is going to be like Usain Bolt, from left, center to right. You're going to cover so much ground out there. It's really, really a nice luxury to have. And now not using the boost, I definitely miss it whenever I've got Juan Soto's ass in right. You know, like reacting like he's just coming off Willie Nelson's tour bus, and then he's got 40 speed trying to truck it to the baseball. It's pretty tough. A lot of people are talking about Nolan Arenado's captain boost, and I'll say this, I think it's a lot more entry level, but again, once you get towards tier 3, there's a lot of decisions that you have to make, which I think the Cornerstone captains were beautifully designed for that reason. They're really good, but there's concessions that you have to make. With Arenado, when it gets to 11 out of 13 players, that means you have to have one outfielder under 45 speed, which obviously is not ideal. But this captain is really good, and you're getting a lot more cards that fit the bill, like that David Ortiz that just came out. He's going to fit that captain boost. There's another couple cards that came out in the POTM program and that sort of thing that fit it. I don't think there was too many from Team Affinity, unfortunately, and when you look at Arenado compared to Buxton, a lot more players fit the Buxton. Whenever there's supercharged cards, 9 times out of 10, if they're like silver or lower cards, which typically is who gets supercharged, they're going to get the Buxton boost on top of the supercharged they already have, so you're really getting crazy. I will say you probably want to stick to the 2 hitters and not really the pitchers. I don't think Greg Maddux is good at all. I'm just going to be blunt. I don't think this is a good captain whatsoever. The card in and of itself, he throws no velocity, and K per 9, which I said I would talk about it earlier. I think K per 9, strikeouts per 9, is the most important stat for pitchers with how prevalent foul balls are in MLB The Show 24. It seems like even on high difficulties, you don't even have to come fucking close to the ball. You're going to foul ticket. So you need to get batters out, or else it's going to propel a longer inning. Pitch count goes up, and this guy's going to come out. So the fact that you have to use players also, you can't use hitters with under 70 power, which you don't want low power typically, and pitchers under 75 K per 9, that's just not very good. And then Kodai Senga, I also don't really love this captain boost either. 11 pitchers with under 65 BB9, which is probably the second most important stat for pitchers. Hit 9 is important, but in my eyes, the way the game works this year, you need to miss bats, but also throw strikes because the umpires are prima donnas, and if it's even on the corner, they're probably calling it a ball. So the more accurate you can be, the better. And I do think Kodai is better than Maddux, at least the boost that he gives. But again, I just don't think it's great to truncate your... I don't think it's great to just corner yourself and use, again, this is pretty much all your pitchers that you're going to have with under 65 BB9. There's great pitchers that fit the bill, like Shohei Ohtani, Al Leiter. Those guys have Nolan Ryan. I believe he's there as well. But you don't want your entire pitching staff like that, because when you get in a bind, what are you going to do? I mean, it gets pretty tough. So that's kind of my consensus on the captains currently in the game. Of course, we didn't talk about any of the team captains, which we will eventually if they ever make those more available. I just don't really want to bother talking about it when, if I say, well, this captain's so good, it's like the Squidward meme, looking out at, SpongeBob and Patrick having fun. Yeah, because you can't get them. There's no way to get these cards at the moment if you're past there in the XP reward path. So we'll talk about those in another video if they ever re-release these. But obviously, some theme teams are getting really good. Like the Cubs, they've released a lot of good Cubs. The Dodgers, the Yankees. You know, you can kind of imagine what teams are going to be good based on how many cards they're getting in the game currently. So that's what I think as far as captains go in MLB The Show 24. Let me know what you guys are running. Are you using captains, and who are you using? I'm going to try out Carlos Santana. I'm going to get David Ortiz. I think the hitter captains are some of the best of the game right now, and it's definitely making MLB 24 pretty damn fun. So leave a like if you guys did enjoy. Thank you for watching this one.